Ladies and gentlemen, what is up, and welcome to today's video where we are going to be having a bit of an early look at King Groot, which is the character that is going to be added to Arena next Thursday. So it's going to be available in the crystals as a 5-star, and also, you know, you can grind the 3 or 4-star version in Arena. And I've had quite a lot of questions about this character and exactly kind of where I think he's going to rank. So in today's video, we're going to go over all of his abilities, what he can do, talk about his potential uses in the game, and talk about whether or not, you know, you should maybe consider grinding for this character or going for him as a 5-star. So King Groot, first of all, his animations, his model look amazing. He looks like one of the most fun characters to play in the game in terms of like just being this giant monstrous Groot that is just swinging around like this massive wrecking ball of a fist. So he looks quite fun to play in that regard. Now, his awakened ability, one of the things I think about King Groot, I think if you're going to go for this character, you really do need to go for the Awakened version. You need to, you know, if you're going for a 5-star, you need to make sure you have a 5-star Cosmic Awakening gem, because I think a lot of the value in King Groot is his regeneration. Whenever he's cooling down, he's going to get a really big burst of regeneration. But again, this only activates and applies when the character is awakened. So I think King Groot is one of the characters that is going to rely quite a bit on being awakened to be a really good champion. And his regeneration seems pretty strong. It seems to be about 20% of his maximum health when dupe level 99, so it seems somewhere between 15 and 20%, and any character that can access that regeneration on demand just by cooling off seems pretty amazing. So for his regeneration as a sustainable character, especially for Alliance Quest Map 6, for some of the bleed lanes as well, I think this character is going to be very useful. But I do believe, like, initially he is going to need to be awakened to be a good character and get the most out of this champion. Like, I feel if you go for him and you don't have him awakened, he's going to be a little bit lacking, a little bit lackluster of what you really want out of this character. So anyway, let's talk about his abilities and what he does. So King Groot begins each fight with 2 Fury buffs, each increasing his damage, increasing his attack by 484 for 12 seconds. Obviously, this varies quite a bit, depending on the rank and level of your King Groot, but it's quite a big Fury buff per stack. Now, Fury does like a couple of things, well actually a few things I guess. So each time King Groot receives a debuff, he can actually shrug it off at the cost of 1 Fury charge, and that will shrug off after 0.5 seconds. So potentially that is like amazing for any debuff node that you go onto, because you can just use your 2 Fury charges at the start of the fight to maybe shrug off something like a poison or maybe a stun or a bleed. So I think it's got a lot of value in there on kind of having like Agent Venom's passive, but on command, and you've got a guaranteed chance to shrug it off, providing that you are under the effect of 1 Fury charge. And when King Groot loses his last Fury charge, he goes into the cooldown state for 16 seconds. So again, if you have the character awakened, you're going to regenerate health through this period, and it's going to be quite a nice amount. It seems to be about 15 to 20%. Obviously, we're going to have to see the exact values when the character releases, but I think I worked out via the MCOC mod video and also looking at this character, because all regeneration scales off base health instead of modified health now. So yeah, I think it should be around that number, which is pretty decent. Now, while in his cooldown phase, each attack thrown or suffered has a 9% chance to cause King Groot to store 1 Fury charge, and then when his cooldown ends, he's instantly going to go into that amount of Fury plus the additional 2 stacks. So I'd say it's a fairly often scenario that you're probably, after that cooldown period, going to go into like 3 to 4 stacks of Fury. Maybe if you're quite lucky, you're going to go to 5-6 stacks, but yeah, it shouldn't really be more than that. It's not going to be anything that I can see that's going to be like crazy damage, and I think even with the Cosmic Supremacy synergy, it's not really going to help that much in terms of like increasing the duration and effectiveness of his damage output. It might a little bit, but I feel like it's just, yeah, just because of the rotational aspect that he has, I feel like the mutant crit team synergy is going to be a little bit better for overall damage output on this character, but I'm interested to try it out. And then finally, his passive, we mentioned this a little bit earlier on in the video, but he is immune to all bleed effects, which is very good utility to have, combined with regeneration for Alliance Quest Map 6, because there are a lot of really annoying bleed lanes in there. So I think potentially he's going to be a very good character for that. Moving into Season 4, he's definitely not going to be the best boss killer, Nebula against Dormammu because of the class disadvantage. But hey, we're going to have to see who the mini-bosses are. You know, he might be, like, fairly decent for that, but again, it's very, very hard to tell, but just for, like, you know, having that job role of clearing the bleed path, I think he's going to be really, really exceptional for that in map 6. But again, the criteria is that he does need to be awakened in terms of Alliance War, because this character relies so much on buffs and cycling. You know, he's always going to be bouncing between the Fury and Regeneration. He's going to be absolute garbage. Like, any Mystic champion is going to absolutely tear this character apart. And nowadays in Alliance War, you just have Mystic champions anywhere, so I don't think this character has, like, any place in Alliance War offense. And as a defender, as we've seen in this monthly event quest, he's just really, really easy to deal with. Maybe if Regeneration went back to scaling with, like, modified health, he would be a good character, but the fact that it's currently, like, it only scales off base health, like, he's just not going to be a very good defender at all. Very, very easy to just continually bait a special one and get this character down. A lot of people have been doing 3-star takedowns, so yeah, I just don't think he has much value as a defender. So the special attack 1 seems really, really underwhelming, actually. The sheer force of a critical hit has a 90% chance to break the target's armor and apply a 286 armor rating reduction for 8 seconds. Really, really garbage reduction. Like, that is absolutely nothing at all. To put this in perspective, I'm Patriot's Special 1 has like a 2000 armor rating reduction, and that's still pretty relatively weak for the most part. Doesn't give him decent damage output. So yeah, such a pointless armor break there that is so minuscule that it's going to make pretty much no impact. So I think for damage, it's mainly going on the Special 2. And I'm not really too sure if the Special 2 is that great either, so that's 100% chance to poison the opponent, dealing 3,340 direct damage over 8 seconds, and you can convert Fury buff for an additional poison effect. So maybe, like, toward the end of the duration of your Fury, maybe that's going to be quite good to do. But again, like, the Fury buff, it seems like quite a nice chunk of attack for a stack of poison. I'm not too sure whether or not that's going to be so great, but yeah, I'm interested to find out. And then finally, you can get second regen. Now, this one is a little bit less powerful. With his special attack 3, you can get an additional, like, 4,000 regen over 3 seconds. However, if King Groot has a Fury buff, he consumes it to increase the duration of this regeneration effect by 50%. So that upgrades it as, well, this is a fully maxed out 5-star. So I think in terms of percentage health, this is probably going to be, for the average Groot, about 10%, and then it ups it to 15%. So it's not too bad. I mean, with both of the regenerations combined, I think there's some really, really good healing potential on Groot, and he's just going to be one of those characters that just seems like he can keep on going and going and going. So, I don't know. I see a little bit of potential there, but really the only use I can think of in some of the endgame stuff is I think he's going to be really good for Alliance Quest Map 6 on the Bleed Path, as we said before. Some of the monthly event quests where you just need a sustainable champion that can just keep on going and going and going. Maybe like Road to the Labyrinth as well might be a little bit useful for a bit of this and that. But overall, like, I don't think he has any, like, super amazing, exceptional god tier use. So I'm kind of hoping Yondu and Nebula are a little bit better, but again, this is kind of my early prediction of the character. We've yet to play him, but I definitely think King Groot, just because he doesn't seem like super exceptional, is not one of those characters that you want to go for on day 1 as a 5-star. I think if you are going for King Groot or thinking about going for him, get the 3-star version, test him out, see if he is actually really good and scales well, and if he is, then maybe go for the 5-star or 4-star version. But I just don't think this character, like, has enough or is good enough in terms of the current state of the game to be, like, instantly, like, slap down those shards in order to gamble for a 5-star. But again, that's just my opinion, my perspective on the character. If you want to go for it, if you've got a Cosmic Awakening gem, then yeah, maybe he ain't so bad. But I'm going to get the 3-star. I have 2 5-star Cosmic Awakening gems, so very tempted to maybe go for the 5-star version if I can awaken him. But again, I'm a little bit, like, wary of exactly how good this character is going to be until we've actually got him and we can test him out and we can play him. So yeah, I'm interested to explore that a little bit more, but comparatively, I do think he's better than Angela, and I think he's going to have a bit more value than Thor and Drax overall for some of the higher prestige Alliance quest maps because of his immunity and sustainability. So I think he actually might rank as the second best Cosmic Champion, just behind Hyperion. Like, Hyperion is just so overpowered in terms of his damage and utility that he has. So yeah, Hyperion is a god. There's a lot to contend with there, but I'm interested to see, you know, if Yondu and Nebula, they come into the Cosmic class, whereabouts they're going to rank. But my early prediction is, while King Groot, like, he looks to have some good stuff, I'm just a little bit hesitant on exactly how effective he's going to be, but I think there's a good chance he could rank number 2 in terms of Cosmic Champions, so I have high hopes for the character. Anyway, let's go ahead and fight King Groot, show off his animations and stuff. I think we'll start off with the Cyclops. I don't think we'll be able to outdamage the Regen here, but I just want to try and get him to the special free to show off some of that stuff in today's stream. I guess one of the pros about King Groot as a defender is that he can really quickly shrug off parries, but again, if you connect fast, it just isn't really much of a problem, to be honest. Isn't something you need to worry about too much. Right, let's get to the special free and show some of that off. Right, I'm ready for this. I believe it still fades to black, actually. The end. I don't like the fade to black. It's one of the things that irks me a little bit. I want to see, like, the opponent getting wrecked by the thorns, because it's just like this mysterious, like, bang 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 KO. Okay, right, let's go in with Storm now. I think Storm should be alright for this matchup because he has stun vulnerability as well. So if we stun him during that regen phase, then that should be fairly decent. But King Groot, when you fight him, it's just all about being that special one. Although you can't argue that he's definitely one of the coolest looking characters in this game. Alright, let's try and get that special one out of him. So I think I'm trying to get to, like, the special 2 during a regen phase on King Groot, because then we should be able to just annihilate him. I guess we want to stun and then use the special 2, because that's going to significantly increase the damage here. But let's give it a go. Right, so we want to get that parry. Oh, that wasn't as much as I wanted it to be, but you know what? We're gonna go balls to the walls during the stun. Let's get the special 2 out the way. Let's block that. It's a very, very cool looking special 2, I will admit. Right, let's get that Wrecking Ball. Gives you a nice opportunity to charge up the damage and just get some stuff ready during the Fury phase. Right, we're gonna use this. It's not gonna be enough, is it? Kind of want to go balls to the walls on this. Oh no, that was pretty bad. Okay, we're gonna get wrecked by this. Let's use the defense. We might survive. There's a good chance. If not, we'll just finish it with Voodoo. If we had played a little bit more patiently, that would have been the match done, though. Special free, though. I guess this is a really, really stacked King Groot, but that did hit pretty damn hard. Well, let's continue with the Voodoo. But yeah, interested to see, because I know King Groot is a character. One of the things as well from the NCOC mod video, very, very low base attack. Like, doesn't have much base attack at all. But obviously that's substituted quite a bit with his Fury buffs. And there we go, quite a nice kill there with Dr. Voodoo, but that was to be expected. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am cautiously optimistic about King Groot. I think he's definitely going to have a use in the game. He's going to be AQ MVP. But aside from that, like, I really want to play a freestar version before I can give my final thoughts on it. But I'm very interested as to what you believe the value of this character is. Do you think, like, I've hit the nail on the head here? Is there, like, some crazy use that I'm overlooking? Let me know what you think King Groot is going to be good for in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the video. Take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.